Is Steve Harvey's daughter really exposing him for being a hypocrite? So Brandi Harvey is sick and tired of her father acting right by Marjorie's kids while being horrible to his own biological kids. And she is spilling some juicy Harvey family secrets. And y'all won't believe the story she's got to tell. Steve Harvey might just be faking it whenever he acts like he is the perfect husband and father. Well, his wife, Marjorie, is going to agree that he's the best husband. And Laurie is also going to agree that he's the best dad to her. However, Steve won't be anytime soon earning Father of the Year accolades from his biological children. Now, we all know that Steve is the kind of person who, especially when it comes to family matters, virtually always has the solutions. But when it comes to his own family, he kind of runs out of options because there is a lot of chaos there, especially amongst his 3 adoptive children, his third and present wife, Marjorie, and his 4 biological children. He doesn't even try to conceal the fact that he prefers Steve favors Marjorie and her children over his biological children. The bizarre thing is that despite the fact that this drama has been going on for a while and Steve has done nothing to put a stop to it or attempt to mediate amongst his children, he doesn't care how his biological children feel. His children are reportedly particularly envious of Laurie since she appears to be receiving all of Steve's attention, leaving the other children to compete for the occasional crumb that Steve throws their way. According to a source, he adopted Marjorie's children properly and loves them as his own. However, there is a great deal of contention among the mixed Harvey clan. Unfortunately, there has been considerable resentment among the siblings over Laurie, the most well-known of Steve's children, stealing the show with her high-profile love life. I'm not a Steve Harvey family member or anything, but everyone who has eyes and watches the family would concur that Steve prefers Laurie the most without a doubt, and he even treats her differently from the others. More often than all of his other children combined, he speaks of her. And it would be so simple for us to overlook the fact that he has children in addition to Laurie. Okay. Who is your favorite individual? Without a question, yes. 100%. I know. That's accurate. Although his favoring of Laurie is troubling, there are other factors to consider that are upsetting his biological children. Similar to how Marjorie oversees everything Steve does. Since not every guy can do that, I must respect the fact that Steve adopted Marjorie's children and genuinely loves them. Steve is a suitable individual for it. He loves Marjorie's children, yes, but the issue is that he doesn't love his own children with the same intensity. In fact, rumors have it that his own children think he doesn't even love them close to as much as Marjorie and her children. And they think that Marjorie, their stepmother, has. It's awful that his son Broderick has revealed that he didn't have a relationship with Steve until he was 16, even though I wasn't giving you all the facts since he was his own children's absentee father for a significant portion of their upbringing. My father didn't actually enter my life fully till I was 16 years old. Right. That's absurd considering 16 is almost an adult. Imagine also that up until 2 years before you become a legal adult kid, your father was absent from your life for the majority of your childhood. Even while it seems horrible, Broderick really has it easy compared to Winton, Steve's second biological kid. For those who are unfamiliar with the Harvey family drama, Winton is the son of Steve and Mary, his second wife. Their marriage ended in a contentious divorce, which still results in turmoil when they separate. While Steve was granted visiting privileges, Mary originally had custody of Winton. However, Mary soon started to complain about how poorly Winton was being handled. Mary explained that Winton had shared some frightening details with her about what had occurred whenever he went over to Steve's. She alleged that Steve repeatedly beat Winton and engaged in physical contact with him. There was reportedly an occasion when Steve became enraged and hit the youngster so forcefully in the chest that he lost his breath. And, surprise, it turns out it wasn't the last time. According to her, Winton once even showed up at home looking battered and bruised after Steve had given him a hard time over his schoolwork. Mary reported that the youngster couldn't urinate for days because it was so awful. Now that I know, I'm going to hear a lot of people extol the virtues of flogging and how it helped them become better people. I'm not even going to fight with you, but I will say that spanking a child is wrong. Discipline is not hitting someone so hard they end up injured and unable to urinate for days. This is violent. We also received a call that was rather blunt. Mary then made a police call. Even photos were taken as proof. However, they continued and exonerated Steve of all charges. And what's this? Mary can't talk about Steve any longer since Steve was able to get a gag order placed on her. Carly and Brandi, Steve's twins, and Steve didn't get along well either. Since he divorced their mother while they were still little, Steve remained rather aloof from them and never really made an attempt to be particularly engaged in their lives. However, in contrast, Steve was extremely involved and present in the lives of Marjorie's children. He even took Laurie on frequent father-daughter dates where they discussed issues such as males courting and other such topics, something he never did with his own girls. Moreover, we went on one of our yearly father-daughter dates to my favorite Japanese eatery. And you've just begun chatting to me about males while telling me that you've always been there for me and would continue to do so no matter what. And you showed me unwavering affection. Given that Laurie didn't have a father figure in her childhood, Steve's actions for her are admirable. He ought to have been providing the same for his own children as well, though. It becomes even weirder since Brandi, in particular, believes that Marjorie forced Steve to leave his children. For those who don't know, Marjorie's background has been rather interesting. She and Steve first met while he was still a budding comic and hadn't yet received any funding. She was not interested in that lifestyle, despite the fact that Steve liked her, therefore they didn't pursue a relationship. If you understand what I mean. So he endured with Mary, his ex-wife, who kept him in line until he had enough cash to wed Marjorie. Marjorie, though, entered into an intriguing connection in the interim. When Jim Townsend, a drug dealer, was captured and sentenced to jail, she divorced him and moved on with an unidentified guy, with whom she had Laurie. Not many people are aware of this, but Marjorie was also the subject of an FBI investigation into possible collusion with Jim's narcotics network. However, she was eventually cleared of all charges. She married Steve, forced him to adopt her children, and compelled him to give preference to her own children in order to ensure their future. To be fair, he did financially support his biological children, but that's all. He never really went the additional mile to show his adoptive children the same level of devotion. I went to college with the twins, and that man missed a family day function, someone said. Not a heritage festival event, a comedy concert, a basketball game, a field hockey match, or a bowling match. Nothing at all. They were really kind and modest. He played no part in that. It has never been easy for me to listen to anything he has something to say. Someone said, that's not his daughter. His actual children were neglected. Simply put, Marjorie is a con artist. And this wouldn't even be a topic if he hadn't received his money. He also claimed that he could offer his biological children. All of those things couldn't make the pain of witnessing his devotion to Laurie and her mother go away. The affection of your parents is priceless. Money cannot purchase that. What do you think of Steve choosing Laurie above his biological child despite being an absentee father? Check out the following video and please let me know in the comments.